Hi, this is Michael Benjamin Jacobson. It's 4:27 a.m. on a Wednesday night. I've just watched uh, this karaoke video of Kayne West, uh, and it's done by the guy off the Late Show. He does all these karaoke, James Cordon, and he does these interviews in cars all the time with big you know, movie stars and stuff. And I've watched a lot of him. I love him. I love him because he's overweight, and he's overweight and he's popular like me. I'm not popular, but he's overweight like me. And I watched a few days ago. The Lord led me to watch about 5 hours or 6 hours of Kanye West, and really love him. And I'll tell you some things that just giving like a review, and I'll post the airport karaoke interview under this in the description tag. But for years people were prophesying over me. The glory of the Lord is all over you, and you're walking in the glory of the Lord. And the glory of the Lord is manifesting all over you, and the Lord is going to fill you with His glory, and the Lord is going to manifest His glory in your life. And glory, glory, glory. And I kept on hearing this word glory, and I had no idea what it was. And I read some books by David Herzog about the glory, and what I learned about that was that you could speak in a stadium, and you could release the glory, and angels would just do all the healing and all the chucking out of demons, and they just manifest in the glory. And I realized that, well, that's how Benny Hinn's doing it. Angels are just touching people and healing people in the audience. And that's the glory. I never understood how Benny Hinn did it, but David Herzog shared it. And then I started to get more and more revelation on what glory is. And I'll tell you 4 characteristics of glory on your skin. When you've got glory on your skin, these 4 things can happen. Little children stare at you rudely, right? If you're in public transport, or you're on a bus or a train or somewhere public, little children under 4 will stare at you, especially babies in prams and stuff. They'll stare at you, right? If you've ever encountered that, and then, as the glory has grown on me, and if you get 10 of my T-shirts, glory will grow on you. The more of my T-shirts you get, the more glory will manifest in your life. And you don't know that, but the Lord has told me that. A few of my friends know that. I released it on one of my videos, but, the glory is going to carry all of my brands, and everything I produce in the future, more and more glory is going to pour out in your life. So it's a truth that the more of my T-shirts that you own, the more glory will manifest in your life. But anyway, as I've owned 10 T-shirts and another 10 T-shirts on the way, been manifesting more glory. Not only the kids under 4, but now young kids up to 8 and 10, when I meet them on buses, they want to interact with me, and they're talking to me, and I don't have to start a conversation. And I don't even have to be in one of my T-shirts. I just start, and they're wanting to interact with me. But little children will stare at you at a lower level of glory. Homeless people, if you walk past them, or someone who needs money, they'll ask you for money. If a homeless person walks into McDonald's and walks up to a whole lot of people in the McDonald's, you might be with 3 or 4 friends. They won't ask your friends. They'll direct straight at you. Have you got any spare change? Homeless people, if you don't know it, some homeless people are so desperate for their heroin or for their drink that they'll go up to every single person and ask people. But if you've been homeless and you're one of these people that in Australia they call it coal biting, amongst homeless people, that's the word for it, coal biting. And you've got to be really desperate to beg people for money. But the very best heroin addicts and the best drunks walk up to people and beg. The serious guys case your house and break into your house and steal everything. They're the professional gangs. And the second level guy will prostitute his wife and prostitute his girlfriend and live off her prostitution, or a lower level than that will stick you up with a knife and rob your money, or another lower level walk along cars and break into cars and steal mobile phones and steal things. But the most innocent, the most beautiful of the heronetics, they'll just go and beg and beg and beg. And so if they're really desperate, they'll ask everyone. But if they're not desperate, they sort of look at people and they're trying to judge the spirit on people. And they only ask the people that they feel an impression would give to them. So if you've got glory on you, they'll ask you all the time, because they're getting a sense from your spirit, oh, this person will help me. So they look across the room and they're spiritually in tune, even if they're not a Christian. They just ask the people who they feel they've got the most chance. And it's very humbling. You go out and start begging people for money. You try and do it. You be in a situation where you need money. It's very humbling to beg, right? So they want to limit their chances. So if you've got glory on your skin, they'll ask you. They'll see 4 friends and they'll walk straight up to you because they can see glory on your skin. So that's the third one. If you're walking along the street, you can be walking along, someone might stop you and say, do you know where such and such street is? Or do you know where such and such shop is? Or do you know where I can get a bus to such and such, or whatever? If they pull you up and ask you for directions, that's because you've got glory on your skin. Now, you may have been watching. I've seen, 15 people pass a person. They've just been standing there. When I get to the person, they stop me and they say, do you know where such and such? Why didn't they ask the 14 people that walked past them before me? Because they didn't have glory on their skin. And so the person wasn't getting the impression as they looked at people that this person would help them. But when you approach them with glory, they get this impression in the spirit, oh, this person will help me if they can. And most often when they ask me, I can help them. Right? So that's 5 manifestations of glory. Another manifestation of glory is they look like they're a pregnant woman with that pregnant glow. That's what glory looks like. So that's 6. A 7th one is, when I've got a lot of glory on me. So when I approach people and give a prophetic word, there's like stickability there. Like, a stranger will let you talk to them if you've got glory. They're getting impression of this guy, even though he's not dressed well. He looks a bit like a homeless guy. Even though he's unshaven, he's overweight or whatever. There's something about this guy. I'm going to listen to him. If you haven't got as much glory on you, you won't be able to just approach total strangers and almost put them into a trance of stickability, of listening until you deliver this word. Every time I'm out, I'm delivering 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 prophetic words to total strangers. I've done about 20,000 prophetic words to total strangers. So there's 6, 7 manifestations of glory. And I was researching Kanye West and having a good time sort of researching him and listening to him. There's an hour and 45-minute video of him getting interviewed, and it was amazing. And I watched other interviews, and they were amazing. I listened to his whole album. His whole album made me cry. His latest Christian album, a couple of the songs made me weep. And I've watched songs before, ballets before, musicians before, and the Spirit has hit me, and I've just been crying. It doesn't have to be a Christian song. And so when I listened to the Kayne West album, and all his albums are on his YouTube channel, and you can watch all his albums for free, right? That says something. I don't know when he set up his YouTube channel, but you can go and listen to all his music for free. And I didn't even know who he was until he came on my radar a couple of months ago. So, I was talking to him and his wife in the spirit 24 hours ago, and I don't know if they received that in a dream, but I was talking to Kim first, and my girlfriend's interested in Kim, and whatever her name is. I think it's Kim Kardashian. I was talking to her, have a good conversation. She said, how can you talk to Kanye? And I was calling him Kayne, and she said, why are you calling him Kayne? I said, sorry, that's how it sounds. I forget. Kanye, isn't it? She said, yeah. She said, why do you call him Kayne? I said, well, that's what it looks like. That's what, if you read it, that's what it says. He's like Cain and Abel, and I don't know which is Cain or Abel. I don't know which was the bad one, but he's like Cain. And anyway, um, she said, "You're so funny. I've never heard anyone call him Cain." And I said, "Well, I don't know your husband. I just know that he's doing some good things." And then she said, "How do I put him on?" And I said, "Just say I want to talk to him, and just like Messenger, you pull them into the conversation. When you say he wants to talk to you, just say that, and I'll start talking to him, and he'll be able to hear me." She said, "Kanye, listen to this guy." I started talking to Kanye, giving him some advice and telling him who to stay away from, and there's wolves, and stay away from Joel Osteen and anyone who's a big player in Christianity. Check with the people around you. Most of the big players in Christianity are wolves and bad people. You need to have some discernment now, because people are coming in at you, especially Joel Osteen. Stay away from him. And he's talking back and forth, and he says, "Who are you, and why are you talking to me?" And he was really excited. I said goodbye, and just as I was saying goodbye, Kim said, "Oh, goodbye. It's good to talk to you. Thanks for speaking to Kanye. It means a lot to me." I said goodbye. Now, I'm speaking spirit to spirit live. I was awake. I think I was awake or asleep, or I don't know, whatever. But, I had a real conversation, and they're going to see that in their dream, have a two-way conversation. And that's nothing. I've talked to 3 separate lots of people, spirit to spirit, over the last 3 days, moving into a new level. But why I'm saying this is this video, this airport thing that this guy James Conway does. I've watched about 20 of his. He's really famous. This has been watched by 14 million people. That's a lot of people. You only have to add 10 million to that. That's the whole population of Australia. That's a huge amount of people. And why I've said all this and why it's named after this is I can see glory on people. I've got a spiritual gift, and I can see glory on people. And I'd never, I'm not really into choirs. Choirs have never impressed me. And he sings on these Sunday worshipping things with these choirs and stuff. Are not really into it. And but anyway, Jesus stuck up on me, and Holy Spirit snuck up on me and had me watch this, because I like these interviews that this guy does. I like this fat guy that does it. I found this, so I'm going to watch that. And instead of in the car, they go into an aeroplane full of the choir, and you don't know that. Well, I'm spoiling it there. Spoiler alert. Sorry about that. Go to the airport, and the whole 747 is full of his choir. And it's amazing. They sing a few songs in the interviews, and it's amazing. What I want to tell you is all of his choir got the glory on them. But they're not amateurs. All these Christians, they're full-on Christians. They're amazing Christians. They're all got the glory on them. You just don't get the glory. I tell you, you don't manifest the glory easy, right? It's not an easy thing. There's one thing that can't be faked by Satan. Satan cannot fake the glory. And if you wind up the glory, your face will shine like Jesus' face coming down from the mountain, like Moses' face coming down from the mountain. Jesus and Moses came down from a mountain, okay, and their face was shining with glory. 5 times in my life, my face has shone like the sun, and everyone's been staring at me. So that's a higher manifestation of the glory. And you want to hear what the glory sounds like? Isaiah 60, verse 1 to 6, talks of that manifested glory. And in the last days, the 144,000 mentioned in Revelation, that's 20 or 30 million people, but the 144,000, the army of the Lord, that's who they are. They're all going to be walking around with this manifested glory. They're going to be walking around with light bulbs coming out of their face, and everyone's going to be walking in this glory. And people are going to know that these are glory carriers, and they're going to be the illuminated ones. The Illuminati call themselves the Illuminati, because they think they're the illuminated ones. Well, the illuminated ones of the last days are going to be people walking in the glory, this army with the glory on them. Well, nearly everyone that I saw on that plane, part of his choir, they've all got the glory on their face. And you don't have to be a Christian to even have the glory in the face. About 6 months ago, four months ago, I forget time. Time's moving so fast and so slow for me. I don't know what's happening. But I was walking to this cafe, a Zion cafe that my former church run, and I was walking down the street and I saw this glory all over this guy and his girlfriend. And I walked up to him. I said, "Are you guys Christians?" And I said, "No." I said, "Well, you're just such beautiful people, you know." I started prophesying over the guy and then over his girlfriend and then their friend. And I told them, spent about 15 minutes with them sharing how beautiful they are. And I said, I only go to one church, the only church I trust in Sydney. And I said, "Can you give us your phone number? We want to come to your church and stuff." And first time I even mentioned a church, well, I've left that church. It's run by Jezebel. And but anyway, there was glory on non-Christians, and that's amazing. And so as an expert or becoming an expert in the glory, this choir, I tell you what, you're wondering about how's Kanye going to grow in his Christian faith and how he's going to develop. Well, these choir aren't just answering to him. So many of these choir must be really huge and mature Christians. And he didn't just pick idiots. He didn't pick just strangers. He hasn't got a plane full of choir people who haven't got the glory. They've all got the glory on them. And it's very rare for me to see the glory on people. It's like you could get a Hillsong church with 1,000 people, and I could walk through all the people, and it might be only 20 out of 1,000. God doesn't put his glory on everyone. Isaiah 60, verse 1-6, talks about the glory, and if you look at that, anyway, the glory is on the sons of God. And you get 10 or 20 of my T-shirts, and the glory will rise up on you too. And, that's the way my products and the things that I release through my company in the future. That's how we're going to compete with the satanic witchcraft and blood sacrifice that makes the brands popular in the world for the Illuminati. Well, the glory on my products is going to release, and the favor of my products is going to release like blessings on people, and everything's going to start busting open and making that things happen. That's how we're going to compete, and that's how we're going to wipe their brands off and change brands. And so I just want to encourage you that just watch this 19-minute interview with Kanye West. And if you're doubting Kanye West and you're doubting his faith, you're doubting who he is, just take it from me. The Lord led me to have a look at this guy, look into this guy. Everyone that's saying he's a false prophet or he's not a Christian or he's leading people astray, listen, the whole church is leading people astray. He's the new wine. If you search Kanye West on my videos, go to my homepage and search Kanye West. I've done 3 or 4 videos about it. Here is another one. Right? Sometimes I watch videos just for entertainment. Before this, I spent 14 hours doing 7 prophecies for the Lord over Australia. So I'm pretty wiped out. I'm at the stage where I'm staying up all night and just relaxing, looking at videos I'm subscribed to. And I looked at this one. It's fantastic. I want to tell you, this Kanye West is the new wine. The new wine they're looking for. It's not going to be accepted by the regular wineskins. Kanye West is part of the sons of God. He's a manifested son of God rising up in these days. And, people can mock him and mock Jesus and mock everyone. You can mock me for saying it. But I tell you what, Kanye West, he's not going down. He's going to be a bright star and he's going to go right up. And I really encourage you to go and watch this thing and start to check out, buy his album and support him, start sending him money. And I hope that you're encouraged by this video. God bless.